So everybody, thanks so much for listening to Fire Breathing Rob. If you're listening to us for the first time, please like, subscribe, share. We're on the podcast, the radio. We're also on YouTube. Again, hit the like button, subscribe, and share on all those platforms. We appreciate it. And we have a special topic that's near and dear to my heart because I do have two Golden Retriever Lab mixes. And we want them to live as long as possible. And not to mention that, I know a lot of people listening do have dogs in general. We're going to be talking about that. But in a way, we need to make sure, and Claire, who I'm going to introduce in just a second, is going to talk about this. We need to make sure that our dogs are eating the correct foods. We've heard throughout many stories on the news in the past few years that, there's been dog food that's had all kind of contaminants in it. There's dog food from China. So we have to really look at the labels, make sure what's in this dog food is not going to eventually get our dog sick and die faster than they should. So talking about this topic, again, this is Claire Ballard. She's the marketing director from Happy Go Healthy. And again, if you want to check out their dog food, it's www.happygohealthypets.com. Sorry, I stuttered there. But again, www.happygohealthypets.com. So Claire, thanks so much for coming on. Greatly appreciate it today.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate being here.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your story before we get into the company's story, Claire.
Yes. So my story is really interesting. It was great that you said that you've got the two lab mixes too, because Happy Go Healthy started with our Labrador dog. So it's a really nice connection there. So my father is the owner of this company, and my background is in marketing. So I studied international marketing in the States, and I currently live in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. But the nice background to Happy Go Healthy is that we grew up with this black lab. She was called Meg. She's actually the name of the animated dog you see in the background here, which we have branded on our packaging. So she is part of us through and through. And she lived to be about 16 years and very long life, very happy. And when she passed away, my father said, I think if there had been a supplement on the market, I really think she could have lived even longer. And he kind of took a look and scanned the market, was taking a look at the labels and said, you know what, I think I can maybe do this better myself. So my father's in the animal feed industry. So he works with top nutritionists and veterinarians all around the world to collate ingredients, and thought, I work with the best of the best. Why don't we try and pull them together to find something that is holistic for dogs, that can be used for all breeds, all ages, all sizes, to make them healthier and live longer. So that's where Happy Go Healthy was created, really for the mission to improve the lives of dogs and the pet parents who love them. And with the creation of his science background, he was able to create this product, which is such a unique one, which I'll definitely get into later, but didn't have the marketing background to figure out how to market it to the right demographic. And we saw a niche with millennials, especially, to see how they could really understand the product, because as I'm sure you're very much aware too, millennials are really in tune with understanding the knowledge and the education behind what they're feeding their dogs. In addition to other categories, of course, but they really want to make sure that they properly understand what they're feeding their dogs. And that was important for us when we created and rebranded Happy Go Healthy's Brilliant Bites, to make sure that it was in a way that they could really understand the ingredients on a level that could be easily consumed for them too.
How would you, help millennials learn those words? Or is there like different terminology that your dad and the company used in general, as far as the rebrand, to make sure those ingredients were easy to understand?
Yes, great question. So the first thing that we did was it was important for us to use FDA and AAFCO recognized ingredients. So what that means is that every single ingredient in our product has been approved by the FDA as safe. So there are many, many products out there who cannot claim that. So That was our first and foremost thing, to be able to say and advertise that we've got ingredients that are approved by the FDA. So that checks the box first and foremost for millennials to say, great, what I'm feeding my dog is going to be not only safe, but also effective. Then for our website, which is really used as an informational tool, we kind of broke it out into the different ingredients and use different icons to kind of represent what the different ingredients provided, the benefits for it. And we've kind of used that to tell a story also on our social media and in the other marketing elements that we did, by using a visually friendly material to make it clear on what the benefits are. So we have these kind of cute, fun videos too, to kind of say, people know that maybe probiotics are good for them as a human, or prebiotics are good for them as a human. And that is a big transfer of understanding what I feed myself as a human is also probably going to be good for my dog. It's kind of a natural inclination for humans to kind of communicate or think that that transfer over of the what is kind of popular or trending for humans, also for their dogs. So what we also did with our research was notice the benefits of having probiotics and prebiotics in every single one of our conditions, which is unlike anything else on the market, actually. So most people think that that probiotics should only be in like gut health supplements, for example. But we've found that there's numerous benefits to having them in a skin and coat supplement, for example, or a hip and joint supplement, or a calming supplement as well. So that's sort of the foundation of our Brilliant Bites, are having these probiotics and prebiotics, and then building on top of it with the other ingredients.
If you are adopting a dog, or you have done during the 2020 pandemic, how would you just wean them into this food, as far as if you go to get that happy go healthy food? Or because you don't really know where they came from for the most part, a lot of these dogs, you don't know what they've ate, what kind of issues they've had medically. So how would you go into that?
Great question. And you're absolutely right. The adoption rate have skyrocketed during the pandemic, and to kind of understand their food things. So the nice part, obviously, is because we only use FDA recognized ingredients, they know that whatever condition they would feed their dog is going to be safe. So I would say our daily wellness supplement is probably going to be the best one to start them on, unless they see a noticeable ailment. So a lot of pets from the shelters might have a skin and coat condition, where they might have flaky skin or itchy spots. So maybe, if they see something noticeable, or their joints are really bad, if it's an older dog that they're adopting. But for the daily wellness one, it includes kind of all the benefits too of a lot of the other ones, plus natural fruits and vegetables too, to have that overall wellness to support immune health too. And the nice part about the product is that it comes in a kibble format, which is very unique to supplements. A lot of supplements out there are chews, or they're a powder. They create a lot of mess. You think about a dog going up to a bowl, sniffing, sneezing, powder goes everywhere, you get a mess of the oil. But this is a kibble, which is naturally more palatable for dogs. So you can pour it over any type of food that a dog might eat, whether that is a soft food, a kibble food, or you can feed it to them as a like a treat on the side, because it's easy to feed right out of your hand, and they don't have to worry about fishy smells. Like a lot of products that use fish oil have a very fishy residue, which is eliminated with a kibble format. So for them, they can easily try it out with them with a couple kibbles to see if it's something that they find naturally tasty, which we found to be a huge rave review, is that you can feed these supplements as a nice treat on the side. So you think as humans, kind of growing up with maybe those Flintstones or gummy vitamins that you'd like to eat as almost like candy. These are like a natural, healthy, holistic treat for dogs too.
I want to go into this because I've heard a lot about this, and I don't know the correct terminology, but you can help me with this because you're all more in depth as far as knowing these terms than I am. But I saw a lot, when you go into these stores now, pet stores, and even online, they talk about buying this fresh food instead of getting the dry food, or, the food in the can, that's the wet food. So what is the differences between all that? And does Happy Go Healthy just stay with the dry food, the kibble, or they do any of that fresh food? I don't even know if that fresh food thing is healthy. You can,
Mhm.
tell the viewers a little bit about that in general.
Absolutely. So right now, Happy Go Healthy focuses on kibble supplements.
Okay.
Food is definitely something maybe for the future, but for now, we found that the kibble format is a really interesting way to extrude super nutrient dense abilities into a compact format that eliminates extra water without reducing the nutrient value. So for us, it was a matter of having a highly palatable product, as well as something that was easy to feed and also easy to consume for the dog. So each product comes with a really cute little scoop. All the conditions have their own specific color. So the scoop inside matches with the condition of the product. You just scoop a small little bit of kibble. You can either top it on the food, pour it in your hand, feed straight to your dog, and go from there. So in terms of between the two, it's very much a preference thing too for owners if they prefer feeding their dog kibble versus fresh food. From our side, we found that just supplements are easier to deliver and easier and more enjoyable for the dog to eat.
It's hard to differentiate really what to believe because, obviously we can't believe everything that's online. And there's this new thing about this talk of the fresh food and buying it. So I don't really know anything about it. I've never done any of that stuff. I've
Mhm.
just, we've stuck to the kibbles, but yeah, so I just figured
Yeah.
we'd ask that because I know we've gotten couple questions about that and the
I think
differences
from my
between.
side, the biggest thing is seeing what they can guarantee you as safe. So for us, being
Yeah.
able to lead with the fact that we have only ingredients that are recognized by the FDA or AFCO, it presents us in a totally different category than others. So a lot of food products cannot guarantee that. And also what that means is on the back panel of the product, there is a nutritional panel, like a
Mhm.
guaranteed analysis. And by able to say that you have FDA recognized ingredients, you guarantee that analysis. So for example, a product might have an 18-month shelf life, for example. When we produce our kibble, we're saying that the nutritional value that you see on the back panel is guaranteed from day one of that extrusion all the way up until the last day of that 18-month. Anyone else who doesn't have FDA recognized ingredients cannot guarantee the panel that you see on the back panel of your either food or supplement. So it's a bit misleading. So a lot of pet parents pick up a product and they think, well, I'm feeding my dog X amount of milligrams of probiotics, for example. But if it is not using FDA recognized ingredients, then you cannot know that what you're feeding your dog is that high of a nutritional value. It's probably significantly reduced over the period of that shelf life.
So Claire, you spoke about having your black lab and it being 15 years old, and we kind of went into that a little bit in the beginning of the interview. So is Happy Go Healthy more geared to a certain breed of dog, or how does that go?
Yeah, so we've formulated it to make sure that it is appealing for all ages, all
Okay.
breeds, and all sizes. So on the back panel too, we have a really nice and clear directions on how you pick the weight of your dog. So all you need to know is just the weight of your dog, and then you know how much of the scoop to feed. And you have 1 week of the initial dosage. And then after the first week, you half that amount for a maintenance dosage.
Okay, so I want to go into a couple more questions. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Claire Ballard. She's the marketing director for Happy Go Healthy. If you want to find more about their food, go to www.happygohealthypets.com. Again, www.happygohealthypets.com. I want to talk because, like I said, I have two Golden Retriever Lab mixes, and I know we talked about that throughout the interview, but we hear a lot about joint health, and you brought this up talking about food. It's really important because when, we have a dog now and, the Golden Retriever Lab, she's 15 years old. She just went to the vet and she got cleared of great health. So we're trying to, keep her as good as possible. And, hopefully she'll live. I'm hoping till at least 20. That may be wishful thinking, but we're trying our best to keep the hope alive. But she got a clear bill of health today. So regardless of that, for joint health for these dogs, especially the bigger dogs, because once their back legs go, it's game, set, match pretty much for them. So what do you put in the food, or is there a certain supplement that you put in the food, or a certain supplement that you make that besides the food to guarantee and help with that joint health?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I'd love to send you some of the hip and joint product
Okay.
after this call. So we'll definitely have to connect on that so you can see it firsthand. But yes, so for our hip and joint product, you'll probably know the term glucosamine. It's also something that humans take. It's also something that you can feed for dogs. And we have done a study conducted that shows the benefits of having something that is not glucosamine that performs better for results for hip and joint. So we have a seaweed-derived calcium, and we also have a protected salmon oil that is an exclusive branded ingredient. And the benefits of those two is that when they synergistically work together, in addition to the probiotics and prebiotics, the benefits significantly outweigh the glucosamine. So those are sort of our secret ingredients for the hip and joint product that really help support that particular ailment.
So the last question before I get to where people can find more about you in general, Claire, is, there's these big companies that have been in business for quite a long time, Eukanuba, and there's a bunch of others, the list goes on and on. How are you trying to get the word out there for Happy Go Healthy? Obviously you're doing this show, and I'm sure you've done quite a few other shows, but it's really a tough fight against these other big corporatized companies that have been in business for such a long time, that have that, big corporate staff in general.
Yes, great question. So for us, again, it goes back to the education side. So we're really trying to build out on our social platforms as well as on our website with videos to ensure that first and foremost, our customers understand what they're feeding their dog, and for us to be able to show them how holistic our product is. So we're the first supplement with immune health as the focus at its core. And that's really important for us, the health of the dogs, and then to give pet parents like yourself the opportunity to spend 20 plus years with their loved dog to keep on going. So for us, it's really the social and online side of things to visually communicate in different images or videos what they're feeding their dog and the benefits of it.
Claire, what do you want the audience to get from this interview as we end?
Yeah, I would just love to let people know that Happy Go Healthy is here to really improve the lives of dogs and the pet parents who love them. So I hope that our website reinforces that. Again, happygohealthypets.com is where you can get more information on our 5 conditions, as well as detailed information on the ingredients within each one. So from there, you'll see that each condition has a list of ingredients that have been intentionally and precisely selected for that condition, as opposed to just being a replication of the same across the board with maybe one small tweak. You'll see that each one is very individual and different across each one.
Claire Ballard, again, she is the marketing director for Happy Go Healthy. Again, happygohealthypets.com is the website. Claire, thanks so much for your time today. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate your time.